All right, welcome back to vlog number 2. Bit of a long day today, kind of tired, had a lot of stuff to do today. Now that I'm all done with it, looking forward to just unwinding and playing some cards with the fellas. Hopefully we run as good as we did last time. So we're going back for $1 small blind, $1 big blinds, and we're in for $100 again. So yeah, thank you guys for your support, and I will see you at the table. We are back for some more poker action here in Bloomington, Indiana. A little bit of a different group this time around, but still some familiar faces from last video. In one of the first hands of the night, we looked down at King Jack offsuit on the button. Action limps to me pre-flop, and I decide to bet $4. This sounds like a good price for some of our opponents, and we are off to a flop with 3 callers. Flop comes 3 queen queen with 2 diamonds, and sitting with just king high on a paired board, not really a good flop for us. However, action checks through in the flop, and the turn comes the 3 of clubs. Now, the board is double paired, and king high doesn't seem as bad, I think. However, when the big blind decides to bet $10, I don't think my hand is that good here in the situation, so I elect to fold. The following hand, we are dealt pocket queens on the cutoff. I decided to raise here for $5. Wanted to go for such a small sizing because I still wanted to keep a wide range of hands still involved. Looking back, I probably should have raised more, but I really didn't want many of my opponents to fold. We get 2 callers, and the flop comes Jack, 3, 8, 2 diamonds. We are sitting with an overpair and some runner straight possibilities. The small blind bets out $5, and here's where I want to isolate my opponents. I min click to $10. The button decides to get out of the way, and the initial raiser is thinking about it for a while. My guess is he is either on a straight draw or is holding some diamonds. Eventually, he calls, and we are on diamond watch. So I can know. Yeah. The dealer puts out the queen of spades on the turn, giving us top set. It is not a diamond, so the flush draw does not get there. My opponent thinks for a bit and fires at a bet of $10. I know I need to raise big here to get him out of the hand just to ensure that his flush draw does not get there on the river. I 3-bet to $35. My opponent is now in the tank. I honestly have no idea what he could be contemplating here with. Because he's thinking for so long, he doesn't have a straight, could have a lower set or 2 pair. Eventually, he asks how much it is and puts the additional $25 into the middle. I'm a little confused, but we'll have to be pretty cautious as we are off to a river. The river is the 5 of diamonds, completing the flush. I don't want to put any more money in, and we check through. I think I could be good here, but he shows the one hand that I didn't think he had. His 9-10 offsuit gave him a straight on the turn, beating my top set. My first bad beat of the night, and I really don't think I could have played that any differently besides betting more pre-flop. Definitely not the best start to the session, but hopefully we can bounce back with Queen Jack of clubs. Everyone limps pre-flop, and the dealer puts out Ace 10 Deuce 2 clubs. Rocco in the small blind bets $3 into the dark, and I flat call with my flush draw. The turn comes the 7 of clubs, completing my flush. Rocco bets $6, and here I just call. Don't want to overplay my hand, and then the river comes the Ace of Spades pairing the board. But when Rocco checks here, he's not representing a full house, so I think my hand is still good. I raise to $15, Rocco shakes his head, looks down at his chips, and calls. Flush. Wow. 2 bad beats in a row. Rocco does not have a full house. He has Ace 5 of clubs, giving him the nut flush on the turn. I didn't even consider that to be his hand, considering he only bet $6, and I'm really glad I didn't raise there. Rocco takes on the pot, and now I am a little frustrated, not going to lie. Alright, I am officially on tilt after those 2 brutal runouts. I am on the big blind, down $80 with $20 left in my stack. I'm dealt Jack 7 offsuit, and I decide I am going to play it. The player to my left raises to $3, and the player in the under the gun +1 position calls, and I call as well. Flop comes pretty much as good as it's going to get with Jack 7 off. Queen 7 queen gives us 2 pair. My tilted self figures that this is a good enough hand to either win it all or lose it all. So I'm all in for my remaining $17. So I'm all in for $17. Vlog, I'm a little on tilt.
35.
Okay. Yep. Sean to my left immediately raises to $35, and I know my hand is no good here. Especially when the other player calls as well. Wow. I am dead here, for sure.
Hey, I just had Kings first hand and I'm topping up for 40 more.
Bro, Jordan, I'm all in.
Wait, Queens again?
I'm here.
Nate was in the original $50 game. Yeah. Max.
30.
Actually, just do a classy.
I'm so like, it's not even funny.
Nah, but
You bought in
It's not even funny how I am.
79.
Oh yeah, I'm Alright, I'm buying back in. To no surprise, someone has a queen in their hands and I lose. Well, you know what they say, winners never quit. It's time for me to buy back in for an additional $100. Hopefully we play a little smarter and with a clear head, as we are now in this game for $200 total. The first hand we get dealt with a new stack of $100 in front of us is ace-deuce of spades on the button. I just want a flat call here, considering we just lost a decent chunk of change in the last few hands. The flop comes 7-deuce-7, giving us 2 pair with top kicker. That's why when action checks to me, I like to go with a pot-size bet of $4. I don't even know what that's called.
It is actually internal. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that your block gets the right ideology.
4.
The big blind decides to call, and so does under the gun +1. Now the pot is $12 larger than it was before. The turn comes the queen of clubs. The big blind checks, under the gun +1 checks, and I check as well. The river is the 8 of spades. The big blind checks, and then the player to his left in the under the gun position decides to bet $5. With my 2 pair and ace kicker, I decide to call with ace-deuce suited, and the big blind calls as well. And we are off to showdown. Does anyone have anything? He has pocket jacks. We are he's good. We are then card dead for 2 full orbits, but when we are back on the button, we look down at ace-king offsuit, or big slick, as many like to call it. Jorden in the under the gun +1 position raised to $7. The hijack calls, and I call as well. So now we are 3 ways off to a flop, which comes 10, king, 7, rainbow, giving us top pair, top kicker. Seems to like that board because Jorden raises to $4, Tice in the hijack 3 bets to $10, and then I 4 bet to $20. Jorden with a smile on his face thinks about it for a bit, then folds, and Tice calls for $10 more. Heads up to a turn, which comes the 3 of clubs. Tice goes for a check, and I check back. The river is the 6 of hearts, and I don't think either of our hands improve here, and we check through. Top pair, top kicker.
No, yeah, ace king.
Yeah. Oh, it's not making the vlog, but Tice shows king jack, and we win.
Start using bleeps.
Thanks for the suggestion, Rocco. I will be using bleeps in my vlogs from now on. The following hand, we are dealt jack 10 off, and we limp in the cutoff. Sean on the button then raises to $3. The small blind folds, and 4 players call, including myself. The board comes 8, deuce, ace, rainbow. Rocco in the big line fires out $6, and I just don't think my hand works here on a paired board. I fold and live to see another day. Next hand we are involved with, we look down at the crabs. We are in middle position, and we decide to raise to $3 in honor of pocket threes. 4 players call, and now the pot is $15 total. Flop comes pretty good for us. It comes 2, 4, 7, rainbow. When action checks to me, I decide to continue for $6 as the pre-flop aggressor. Rocco on the button calls. Small blind, big blind, fold. And so does under the gun. So now we are heads up to a turn, which comes the 10 of spades. Action checks through on the turn, and the queen of diamonds is on the river. I check to my opponent, who looks down and fires out $12. With a board that really didn't connect with my hand at all, I don't think I can call here with the second lowest pair. Takes me a bit, but after some thought, I relinquish my hand.
Put the shit in the vlog. In the blog.
I don't think I even filmed that. We're on the big blind.
What is the difference between a vlog and a blog?
A vlog is a video log. A blog is a... Like, you write it down.
Really?
Yeah. Look at me. Not only am I donating money to the people in the poker community, but I'm also educating them as well. We are on the big blind with ace-king offsuit again. When action limps to me, I raise to a sizing of $5. Rocco in the hijack calls, and the button and small blind come along for the ride for $4 more. The flop comes 2 Jack 10 rainbow, giving us 2 overcards and a gut shot. Tyson the small blind checks to me, and I go for a continuation bet of $6. Rock on the button min clicks to $12. The button and small blind both fold, and I call here for $6 more. We are heads up to a turn, which comes the 9 of clubs. I check to Rocco, and he checks back. The river is an 8, making any queen have a straight, and king-queen beat the nuts. I give up with my ace high and check, and Rocco checks back.
Yeah, I got 2 pair.
Ace king.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, runner.
Rocco reveals that he was also on a straight draw on the flop, but then improved by going runner for 2 pair. Nice hand, sir. After a few players bust and cash out, we elect for a seat change. Maybe this change of position will give us a change of luck. We look down at some sooty nectars. 6-7 of spades in under the gun. We call for $1 more, and so does everyone else. But then Jorden in the cutoff raises to 6. Action folds to me, and I call for $5 more with intentions to bluff Jorden, which is almost an impossible task as he calls literally everything. Rocco in the hijack calls as well, and we are 3 ways to a flop, which comes king, jack, 4, 2 spades. I check with my flush draw, and the hijack checks to Jorden. Jorden then decides to fire out for $10. I call here with my suited connectors, and Rocco folds. Heads up to a turn, which comes the 5 of hearts, now giving me an open-ended straight draw. I have no idea what Jorden could be representing right now, so I decided to check here to see what he does. He checks back, surprisingly, and the river comes to jack of spades, completing our flush, but also pairing the board. I go for a check, expecting Jorden to bet big. He definitely could be trying to bluff here with a missed straight draw or ace high, but when he checks back, I know I am good. I have a flush. Yeah. Definitely could have gotten a little more value on the river, but I've already had some horrendous beats tonight, and I didn't want my flush potentially losing to a full house to add to that list. All right, everyone, strap in because this is the craziest hand yet. 4, 6, 8 players.
$25 button shot.
And Sean on the button decides to go all in before even looking at his cards with a $25 button straddle. I am first to act on a small blind, and I look down at ace king for the 3rd time tonight. Dream spot, honestly. Sean definitely does not have me beat here as he legit put his entire stack in blind, and I really just want to get paid. So I decide to raise to $50, and action folds to Jorden. Jorden, being the player he is, then reshoves for $53 total. I'm not going anywhere for $3 more. I call with my ace king. When no one shows their hand, I get a little confused. But we are off to a runner out 3 ways with 2 players all in.
One time.
I have big select.
Wait. What do you have, Sean?
I'm not showing. You have to show, especially
He
with
doesn't have to show.
I mean, but after Jorden.
Jordan?
Jordan, you're not in rough shape.
Yeah,
Oh.
Holy.
I lost.
I have a 2.
Bro. No, Jordan, you don't just have a 2. You happen to have 7-deuce offsuit, which is infamously known to be the worst hand in poker possible. On top of that, no one even notices at the time, but you also have a straight, being 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. I knew Jorden was an action player, but him calling a $50 raise with the worst hand in poker really puts him in a different category. I cannot even believe what just happened.
Everyone pay me.
Bro.
$3. Bitch.
Bro.
Are you
What's your hand?
kidding me?
29.
Bro.
Are you
Bro.
kidding me?
You jammed with 7-deuce and hit.
You, bro.
Holy. Probably one of the worst runouts of my life, and I decided to give it one last try and top up for $50 more. I am now in the game for $250 total, and Jorden is sitting pretty with most of my chips in front of him. Next playable hand we get is Ace-5 offsuit. We raise to $3 with nothing but a dream, and we get 3 callers. We are 4 ways to a flop, which comes 7, 4, 3, 2 spades, giving us a double gutter straight draw, with either a 2 or 6 giving us a straight. Keeping that in mind, I want to separate myself from the other players. I bet out $6. Everyone folds, but Jorden, the villain, thinks about it and calls. Heads up to a turn, which pairs the board. The 7 of spades does not improve our hand at all, but we want to see what Jorden does. We check. He bets $11. I take a closer look at the board and call. River is the queen of diamonds. Doesn't help us out at all as we are sitting with ace high and we totally miss. Okay, vlog really quick. This is Jorden right here. I shot him out last vlog. This kid.
Antonio, go, bro.
Check.
I checked. You're good.
Ace high.
I'll have a 3.
Bro, you're such a asshole, bro. Bro, you're such an
My worst bad beats.
Looks like Jorden really is getting the best of me tonight. No worries, we look down at pocket 4s on the button. We just decided to call here for $1. Haven't had the best luck with my pocket pairs tonight, so we'll see if anyone else wants to bet pre-flop. Turns out no one wants to bet, and it is a limp pot with 4 players. Flop comes ace-5, 4, 2 hearts. Finally, some of the luck from last video is coming back as we have middle set. When action checks to me, I decide to go for a pot-sized bet of $4 to eliminate any potential flush or straight draws. Action then folds to Tice and the hijack, and he asks how much I raise by, and then he check raises me to $8. I debate going for the 4-bet here, but I do want to try to get some more value with my set. So I just call for $4 more. Turn comes the 10 of hearts, completing the flush draw. Tice then decides to fire out a bet of $17, representing that he has a flush. This is a weird spot because I think if Tice hit his flush, he would have gone for a smaller sizing to get more value. I decide to call here with my set as I feel like my hand is still good. Turns out I was right as the river comes the 5 of diamonds, giving me a full house. Tice checks and I don't want to leave anything up to chance. I go all in from my remaining $48 and Tice looks kind of upset. He shows me ace-4 offsuit, did not have a flush. Turns out I hadn't beat even on the flop. He thinks about it for a while, talking out loud, contemplating, and eventually he makes the right fold.
For the vlog.
I don't really care that I didn't get value there. I really wanted to commit my entire stack if the card I needed came out, and it did. So I am more than happy to take this one down. Jorden, say what's up to the vlog. This guy is taking a lot of my money, and he called my ace king with 7-deuce. And he's making the vlog. He's making the thumbnail, actually.
He's the thumbnail.
He's the thumbnail. And now he's betting me $10 when I have this shit. Alright, it appears my luck is changing as I look down at my favorite hand of all time, ace-9 of diamonds in the cutoff. I love this hand. I always think it's super fun to play, and I tend to luck out when I play it. I call a $2 bet pre-flop, and then the small blind decides to bump it up to $10. Jorden, the villain, snap calls as he does, and I'm not going anywhere with my favorite hand. And we're in position 2. I call, and we are 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes queen 3-5 2 hearts and a diamond. Action checks through, and the turn gives me a backdoor flush draw with the jack of diamonds. The pre-flop aggressor in the small blind then bets out $15 into a $40 pot. Jorden, the big blind, folds, and action is now on me. I think about what the small blind could be holding here. He could be holding hearts or have worse diamonds than me. Could have a set or could be on a straight draw with an ace-x holding. I eventually talk myself into a call and praying for a diamond on the river. The button calls as well, and the pot is now $85. The river is the big 10 of diamonds, and I am now sitting with the stone cold nuts. Small blind then fires out a bet of $30, which is music to my ears. Now I'm in a spot. I am trying to maximize how much value I can get. I still have a player to act after me, so instead of calling and waiting for him to raise, I decided on jamming for my remaining $58. The button folds and the small blind snap calls. Nut flush. I table my hand, and my opponent shows that he had ace-king offsuit, giving him Broadway on the river. That was quite possibly the worst card that could have come out for him, as my nut flush draw was completed as his straight was as well. I'm pretty happy, obviously, after finally lucking out and winning a $201 pot in a session that was not going in our favor until now. After that, I don't really get involved in too many hands. I play some small pots for 20 more minutes, and then it was my time to cash out after having a pretty nice comeback. Time for the outro. All right, that's that. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that session. Definitely suffered some of the worst beats that I've suffered in a while. Thank you, Jorden, for going all in with 7-deuce offsuit against my ace-king and sucking out. Love you, buddy. I'll give him this much. He loves to give his action. Numbers-wise, we were in for a total of $250 tonight with our buyback in and when we topped up for $50. So, and we ended up cashing out for $180. So overall net loss of $70 isn't so bad considering I was probably down $200 at some point in the session. So we bounced back a little bit at the end for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be trying to post a video later this week of another session. And thank you for watching vlog number 2. See you guys later.